Hello there, this is Jam Master Daniel 96, and today's video, I will be reviewing the 4th episode of The Bad Batch. And how I do this review, for normal watchers that know how I do these reviews, is that I talk about certain things from the episode, like a little brief summary and all that, and then I give my thoughts near the end. So, let's get to it. So, this episode of The Bad Batch of season 2, which is the 4th episode, and this came out yesterday. So this week you get 2 Bad Batch reviews in 1 week. Earlier this week I reviewed the 3rd episode, which was last week's, and now I'm reviewing this week's episode of the Bad Batch. And this episode is a racing themed episode. For the Bad Batch members, we have Wrecker and Tech, along with Omega. So we have that of the crew, along with Sid. So we have that part there. And there is no Hunter and Echo, because they're off doing something else. So that's that there. And it was kind of interesting with that, like with Hunter and Echo. So I wonder if we will get next week's episode of their mission, of what they're doing during the events of this episode. I think that would be kind of interesting, how last week was more of a Crosshair-centric episode, and then this week it has more, with, the other guys like Wrecker, Tech, and Omega, along with Sid, and I wonder if, as I said, next week could be a Hunter and Echo episode. I think that would be pretty interesting, I think, there. So, I've done my rambling, so they go to this planet where the race is being held, and the race is riot racing. It's not pod racing or the racing we see in Resistance, so we see a different kind of racing. And in the Phantom Menace you have pod racing, and then in Resistance, you have the racing in the ships and all that. So that's that there. And then with this episode in the racing, you do get a lot of Phantom Menace pod racing vibes in this. So I thought that was pretty neat with this episode. And I did have those Phantom Menace pod racing vibes, and it made me think of the pod race in the Phantom Menace with this episode. So, pretty much who Sid is sponsoring is a droid named Teo that is racing, and then she has to make a deal with these people, and these people have a history with Sid, so we get a little more of Sid's past in this, so we have that there. And then, Teo will lose the race in it, and then Sid will lose the bet, and then there's a bit where they get, Teo ready for the next race, and then before it, Teo gets hit by another racer and is destroyed, and then Tech steps up to race, and then, we see Tech, use all these different strategies in the race, and then in the end, he wins the race, and Sid wins the deal, so that's that there. And then that is pretty much a rundown of this episode, and nothing like eventful went on in this episode, but it was a fun episode overall. And the racing in Star Wars is always fun to watch, like the pod racing and the Phantom Menace and the racing we see in Resistance. Those are always a fun watch in Star Wars, and I love racing in Star Wars. And definitely with this episode of The Bad Batch was fun with the racing, so there you have it. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Not like it? Were you indifferent? Let me know your thoughts down below. Share this video. Tell your friends to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, DanRS87, Instagram, JMD96_YT, Facebook, JamMasterDaniel96. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you. Bye.